I would like to show you in this video how you can use the 328 and the EEPROM to store information. The EEPROM is memory on the computer, the 328 that is, memory that doesn't lose its value when the power is turned off. So you can turn off the computer power completely and the EEPROM will still hold its numbers. Well, this is very nice if you want to retain data for future use, or maybe you're running on a battery and you're afraid that you might lose the data, or maybe you're in the Arctic and you want to collect data and you know that the battery is going to, come in and go out. You're going to lose power at some point, so you want to save the data that you collect. Well, the EEPROM is slower than the other types of memory, like the SRAM. So, you wouldn't use it regularly for number crunching. If you're doing an equation and you want to do like 5 times 6 and get a number, normally you wouldn't use it because, again, the purpose of the EEPROM is to store numbers for for a long time, and you're worried about maybe losing power. Maybe there's a table of numbers that you want to store in the EEPROM and the table will never change. So it's good for some things, but it's not good for the most part you won't use it. Most of the calculations will be done in the registers or in the memory. But again, if you do end up deciding that this is what you need to use, here's how we do it. One is, I'm going to include the subroutines made available to us from AVR. So I type this in as my include, and now what I can do is I can use their subroutines to read and write from the EEPROM. This is much easier than making my own subroutines, which we could do, but it's more work and not really needed. Okay, so let's say I want to write to the memory. I do this. I type this and the help comes up. And I want to write byte, that one right there. And then next it tells me I have to put in the address. And then I put in the value. Okay, so with this that I typed in, I'm saying to the EEPROM, write this byte. The byte is the letter A, or I could replace it with a number if you prefer a number. And by the way, if it is a number, you would write it like this. You'd write it as like a 16, as opposed to a letter which is in single quotes. The item that goes before it is, in this case, a 2, and that refers to the address that I want to write the value to. So this is going to go into memory location number 2. Well, we're almost done with this instruction. There's one more little thing that we need to do. This number 2 is supposed to be the address, memory location 2. But what you need to do as well, though, is you need to cast it into this type. And I'll enter it into the computer. It's an unsigned int 8. That one right there with the T. And now this is going to be a cast. It's going to cast the number 2 into an address, and we also need to put a star right here because it's going to be a pointer. Well, if you didn't catch all that, and you probably didn't, suffice it to say though, this is what you put in right before the number 2 or the address. It's an unsigned integer, 8 bits, and it's going to be a pointer. That's what the star refers to. Now suppose you want to get this letter back out. You want to read this information. And to do that, you do this. Character, let's say x equals, that x is my variable, x will have the value when I'm done, and I want to do the EEPROM read byte, and I want to put in the 2 and the semicolon. Now guess what goes here? Well, you guessed it. It's going to be that same cast, the unsigned int 8, right there as a pointer. Okay, so this is the 2 lines that we need. One is the write and one is the read. Or if you wanted to, you could write a whole bunch and then read a whole bunch. You can put them in loops. You can do them one at a time. Do not forget to do the include up here. Well, that's it for this video. It's pretty straightforward. The include, the write, the read, and the hardest part, don't forget, is this cast as shown.